Shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, as always, I'd like to start by giving all honor and glory, infinite praise and worship to our power, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostles, our elders, a great millstone, who we will teach you on sound doctrine, strong shalom to the hopeful elect, and the rest of the large multitude of men, women, and children, that the Lord will have mercy on these last days. It's your brother HAQADASH, representing GMS branch here in Cleveland, Lord willing to bring out a quick and edifying lesson. All right, through the spirit and power of YAHWASHI. The title is Jerome Powell, there is no painless. This is a quotation because this is what he said. There is no painless way to beat inflation. All right. Now I'm gonna play a quick clip from this guy named Jerome Powell. All right, who sits on one of the seats, all right, dealing with all this. And he has stated multiple times, even last year, about he was talking about inflation and so-called predicting what's going to happen in 2023. And one of the recent videos, all right, that he said was there is no painless way to beat inflation. He said that multiple times. So what I'm gonna do is let me play this real quick, and Rawchaa. It's edifying. It's not gonna be long at all. All right, so this is from Bloomberg. Dang, it's still not playing. All right, so I'm gonna do it like this. Shit vexing, bro. I don't understand why my computer is doing this. Bear with me. All right, I'm gonna play this. Bear with me. I gotta play it from the phone. This guy here, that's who it is. That's Jerome Powell right there. All right, this is just one video of many.
That there's a very high likelihood that we'll have a period of what I've mentioned is low trend growth, by which I mean much lower growth, and we're seeing that now. So the median forecast, I think, this year among my colleagues is 0.2% growth. That's very slow growth, and then below trend next year, I think the median was 1.2, also well below. So that's a slower. It's a very slow level of growth. It could give rise to increases in unemployment, but I think that is something that I think we need to have, and we think we need to have softer labor market conditions as well. We're never going to say that there are too many people working, but the real point is this: inflation. What we hear from people when we meet with them is that they really are suffering from inflation, and if we want to set ourselves up, really light the way to another period of a very strong labor market, we have got to get inflation behind us. I wish there were a painless way to do that. There isn't. So what we need to do is get rates up to the point where we're putting meaningful downward pressure on inflation, and that's what we're doing. And we certainly don't hope. We certainly haven't given up the idea that we can have a relatively modest increase in unemployment. Nonetheless, we need to complete this task.
So, so when you go, let me go here. It says, this is one article. I'm not gonna click that one, but this is from February 7, 2023. Fed's Powell. All right, it says slowing inflation will probably be bumpy, right? Because Lord willing, I can get a video. Let me play this video real quick from a brother. All right, hold on. Salaki. All right, let me see. Right here. All right, I'm gonna just fast forward to the video. Cause all right, yeah, because this is the same guy, Jerome Powell. Okay, it's the same guy, and he's gonna mention the actual title inspiration in this specific video. Hold on, bear with me because I gotta play it from the phone. All right, bet. So let me play this real quick.
Right now is just.
All right.
But when they come, all right, when you're in it, it's going to be something that it's like the scripture says, like a time like never before.
That's a fact, and I think that is partly because of us having raised rates quite a bit. But this is what that's a fact, and I think that recession is almost as likely as very slow growth. So that's a fact, and I think that is partly because of us having raised rates quite a bit. But this is what it takes to get inflation down. To get inflation off of the high, we've had inflation at its highest level in 40 years. To get inflation to come down, what we need is a period of slower growth so that the economy can cool off, so the labor market can cool off, so that wages can cool off, and so that's how inflation comes down. That's the only way we know to bring inflation down. And it can be painful, but we don't know of any painless way for inflation to come down.
Right. So they're saying that he's saying that, you know, he don't know of any other way, all right, in order to fix this situation. And this was by design, man. You know what I'm saying? He don't know of any other way. What he's saying is that there's no other way to fix the problem of inflation. All right, but by pain. All right, but by pain. Okay. So when you go back to this article, well, not article, I'm gonna pull up this definition. Let me go to the etymology of inflation. Is inflation, right? Because the more they print money, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, the more they print it, this is how you get inflation. This is how these different things occur, because they constantly printing money out of nowhere. All right, that's not backed by anything, which devalues the actual so-called value of the currency. It says swelling caused by gathering of wind in the body, flatulence. Let's see. Hold on, bear with me. It says a puffing up, a blowing into. Okay, right. The increase of money being printed, right? It puffed up the dollar. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was blew into by the increase of the money and how it's being used. All right, and it's being printed at a rapid rate. You know what I mean? It's caused inflation. It says enlargement of prices, originally by an increase in the amount of money in circulation. Right, that's what I just said. All right, so enlargement of prices, originally by an increase in the amount of money in circulation. Right, so they have to print more because more is going into the economies. All right, because you have as it's a map that brothers was looking at of the fuck. I think it was I don't want to say it's New York, but I know it was one of these land masses of how it used to look just, I think, 80 to 100 years ago, probably more. I don't know, but you know how it looks now. It was once filled with all trees, but now it's big cities. All right, so the more and more you add to the city, and the more things that are added, like these downtowns and these different things that's added throughout the cities, it calls for more money to be used and to be needed. So they have to print more. They have to print more, and it's way more people on the earth than there's ever been. It's 8 billion people. All right, 8 to 9 billion people on the earth. So you know, I mean, that's a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? If you take a fourth of that, it's probably children. You know what I'm saying? 1/4 of that is probably children, or I don't want to say a half, but probably a half. I don't know. But the point is that that's a lot of money being circulated that's not backed by anything. So they constantly printing and constantly printing, which what it says enlargement of prices. So now all the prices is rising too. Okay, because of the different sanctions and the different different things that's going on between what do they call it, what's the word for it, something war, like trade wars, I think that's the right term, if I'm not mistaken. But you got these different wars going on, like these the political wars between the countries, all right, which also is an important concept to how the dollar is circulated, or the important concept to how the finance system is set up. See what I'm saying? Because once you crash it and to a certain degree in these different countries, and once it's not, you know what I'm saying, applicable, you know what I'm saying, it's pushed away with, which is why now you have currencies coming up with, or countries coming up with, their own currency, own form of currencies, because the dollar is not king anymore. All right, because the condition of the kingdom is weak. That's how you could tell, because its currency is weak. All right, that same thing you happen with all right, going to the book of Daniel's, dealing with the dinero, the denarius or the dinero, all right, and how the currency and talk about the being mixed, you know what I'm saying? It got weaker. You started to add these different elements into the currency, you know what I'm saying? So now what that did was, like, just like how I forgot the president, I want to say Nixon. Let me see. Let me see something real quick. President. I always get this dude. I always forget this dude. President Roosevelt, that took away gold standard. Oh, it was Nixon. After World War II, international agreements comprising the Bretton Woods system formally restored foreign central banks' ability to exchange United States dollars for gold at a fixed price. World trade growth increasingly stressed the system, which was abandoned in the Nixon shock of 1971. So he took away true value, all right, so-called of this dollar bill to be backed by anything. And now they say it's backed by so-called oil. And I say so-called because really this dollar is not backed by anything. All right, at the end of the day, you see what I'm saying? It's so many loopholes to the concept of Esau's system that eventually you'll find out it to be a faulty. All right, it's flaws. Okay, which something that has flaws was never meant to last forever, anyways. It says that what did Jerome Powell say about inflation? We need a Fed that will fight for families. Powell noted that unemployment rate is currently at a half-century low, 3.4%, while families are paying a high price for inflation. We are taking the only measures we have to bring inflation down, which is, again, the title of this lesson. There is no painless way to beat inflation. So what that means is that it's going to cause for a lot of homelessness, a lot of lawlessness, because the people are going to react. Because one thing that the other brother mentioned in this lesson, all right, here his page is Stay in the Spirit 144. One thing he mentioned in this lesson was that these smaller banks, these lollipop banks like Huntington and Ally and these different banks like that, all right, these PNC banks and all that, obviously those are not central banks. Those are banks that stem from the central banks. All right. And like the brother said, like the elder brother said, he said that, because he said majority of the mortgages for homes are attached and are given from these molly pop banks, or these smaller banks, these Huntington banks and these different Chase banks and these different banks like that. The mortgages for homes are given from them. So if the banks are collapsing and if they're going down, You know what I'm saying? And going to the point of actually being permanently closed because they're issuing in just the format of the central banks. So we get into this a few times, man, over the years, and did a couple lessons on this too, going into the central banks and all that. But the point taken is that it's going to be focused on just one or two main banks because you got central banks and you got central banks within central banks. All right, but yeah, man, it's gonna take away these small molly pop banks. So if they go down, the mortgages go down. All right, the mortgages, all right, are affected as well. Which means what? Like the elder brother said, the housing market is affected. All right, there's not gonna be. That's why they're talking about the real estate market. There's not gonna be a lot of people being able to afford to be able to purchase these homes, man. Okay. I was talking to a brother the other day. You're seeing a lot more Edomites in Jake neighborhoods, man. Because Jake neighborhoods, they provide Section 8 housing and HUD and all these different programs, and you're seeing a lot of Edomites now in these neighborhoods, man. You know what I'm saying? You see them catching the bus. You know what I'm saying? You see them walking down the street like everything's normal. Yo, you smack dead in the hood, man. You know. I just read a story about this Edomite getting killed. I think either killed or robbed in one of Jake's neighborhoods because that's where he lived. But you look at this dude, you would never thought he lived in this neighborhood, man. You know, but they killed him. They tried to rob him. I think they killed him. I could be wrong, but I'm probably mixing stories. But the point is that these Edomites is starting to be in Jake hood because of how the situation is. You got Edomites complaining and all this other stuff because that all they know in this modern day life and society is comfort, conveniency. You know what I'm saying? They're not used to having to fight, all right, to survive. All right. So it's going to catch them off guard. So they only going to do what? Result to their blessing, which is the sword, man. You see? So we all know this is by design because the scripture talk about, let me grab a scripture real quick. In Proverbs, it says riches. The Proverbs 16. Proverbs 11. Proverbs 11, yeah, Proverbs 11:4. It says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death. So the currency, people put their trust in this currency. They put their trust and their faith, all right, in this society, man. You know what I'm saying? Show you something real quick. This is the dollar bill, and this is what's going to be on it. It says, "In God we trust." Obviously, this is not talking about Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. This is another God. All right, this is the God of Mammon, which is a Syrian deity, the God of money. All right, and Yahawashai said in Matthew. Matter of fact, before I read that, let me see. All right, let me go to Matthew. It says, damn, what I just quote? It's like it. Let me go back. Oh yeah. All right, this is Matthew 6:24. It says, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, and Mammon." All right, Mammon. Mammon is a like I said. Let's see what that word say for Mammon, just for edification. All right. I went into this before, multiple times as his brothers, but let's just go into it. This is Mammon. All right, which is it says treasure, riches. It says riches where it is personified and opposed to the Most High, right? Because the things of this life are corrupt, they corrode, all right, and they fade away, all right. And then on top of that, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua created it, so it's nothing in this world that you can offer Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to be able to buy your way out of your situation or to be able to fix the situation. You see, it was only one way that Israel was to be back in good graces with the Lord, and that was by the remission of sins by the blood of YAHWASHI, man. All right, which allowed us to be unified with Him again. So there's no amount of money or anything we can offer the Lord to be in His good graces. You're not going to be able to buy your way out of this. That's why we read Proverbs 11:4, riches profit not in the day of the Lord's wrath, man. Okay. It says childy origin, right? Wealth personified, right? So it says, mammon, what is trusted in? And that's what the people, they trust in Egypt. All right. They forward the affliction. I mean, they not forward the affliction, but they forward the table. Like it says in Isaiah 65, they help this man's system stay afloat. But what they're about to fail to realize is that soon come, like Jerome Powell is saying, it's gonna be an effect. You're not gonna be able to live like this forever, man. You know, all things that have no life attached to it, all of it, all those things come to an end. They have an ending on it. They have an ending attached to it. All right. Go back. I forgot what I was about to grab, but let's grab this real quick. Isaiah 2. It's Isaiah 2 and 20. It says, in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats, right? Because these things, the riches of this society has become worship. They have become idols and gods made by the people themselves, and like in a letter of Jeremiah in the Apocrypha, right? They create these idols and they worship them, all right, and then they fall over. It can't stand back up on itself. You know what I'm saying? So what the Lord is doing is He's confounding the idols in the land. The YAHWASHI, like the scriptures say, He's coming to He's confounding all the idols that's worshipped in Babylon and around the world. That's what the Lord is doing. So that's why you see Esau, I think, is a part of Him fulfilling His plan. But in reality, what it is the Lord confounding the idols, which is crumbling your plan. See, he think he's benefiting, he's going to gain, but actually he's losing. And he know that. That's why he has fear. He fear. You know what I'm saying? He fear losing his wealth, man. He fear that. He don't want to lose his riches, man. You know, he don't want to go back to that state. That's why niggas kill. All right, not to be caught, and that's why niggas do what they do. So not like you got these celebrities. If a niggas expose them, all right, for some real wicked shit that they do, all of it's wicked. But say they did some real foul shit to hit that next catapult in they you know what I'm saying, in a level of success. You think, man, bro, that's why niggas get killed. Niggas come up missing because niggas about to expose some things. So it was just a video with T-Pain and Funny Marco circulating. All right, about it said, did T-Pain just get Funny Marco to admit he's an Illuminati? That's what it said at the title. You know what I'm saying? They was talking about the different doors and different shit like that, man. Okay, so you think these people are gonna be ready to give this up, even going down to 2/3 Jake? No, man. That's why that's why Jerome Powell said there's no painless way to beat inflation. That this is the storm. This is right now we're in the quiet before the storm. And right now the quiet is making a lot of noise, man. You're hearing a lot of rumble and a lot of things in a far distance. You know what I'm saying? I remember being at football practice one time, and we was about to go into the locker room, and from a distance we saw it looked like a tornado or something. We like, dude, what, y'all see that down there? Now, everybody stopped and we looked, and then next thing you know, what it really was it was a big cloud of rain that was moving fast in the sky, and then we saw it finally catch up to it, and everybody was like, oh, and then the water hit us. Next thing you know, it's a hurricane of rain. All right, just being dramatic. It's a hurricane of rain pouring down on us, and it was funny at the time because we couldn't get into the locker room, so we were just getting drenched on, man. You know, but the point taken is that's how this right now is. This right now, inflation is before hyperinflation. All right, it's a quiet before the storm, but it's making so much noise, man. So how much more when the storm actually come? They talking about, let me go to this article real quick, and then we're gonna close out. I just wanted to grab a precept or two, and then we're gonna close out. See if I can find this real quick. This is FedNow. It says, what are FedNow payments? The FedNow service is a new instant payment infrastructure developed by the Federal Reserve that allows financial institutions of every size across the U.S. to provide safe and efficient instant payment service. And that's what they're getting ready to do. Okay, that's why this crash and the system is crashing. All right, so that another one can be issued in to seem as if it's a better and convenient for the civilians to actually live a better life. It says Federal Reserve announces July launch for the FedNow service. What month are we in right now? We're in May. They're talking about June 1st, July 1st, August. You know what I'm saying? We could be out of this thing. We could be out of here by the end of the year. We could be out of here by the start of next year. You know, we're right at the door, man. We're right at the tipping point. All right, of Babylon being completely knocked over, man. It says I'm gonna just read this. It says because you gotta remember, it gotta play out. You know what I'm saying? And this is all a part of that pain. All right. The only way to beat inflation, he said, is one of the things he said was to slow it down. Slow what down? He's talking about the flow of the economy. All right. The only way you can slow the flow of economy down is by what? A plague, as we saw in 2020. A plague had hit the whole earth and it slowed the economy down. All right. Businesses closed. All right. People wasn't going to work. No money. A lot of money wasn't being spent. That's the only way you can stop the flow of money, by a plague hitting the environment. All right. Different sicknesses being emerged into the earth. It says we couldn't be more excited about the forthcoming FedNow launch, which will enable every participating financial institution. Right. Every participating financial institution. The ones that don't participate, X'd out, excommunicated out of society. Because this is the new way. This is going to only be the only way. It's like, even if you wanted to do the other stuff the old way, you're not even going to be able to. That's why you see in Venezuela and different places where you see people that was millionaires and had all this money, you see them burning it and making. This one dude, he made in Venezuela, he started selling purses made out of the money that was once used in Venezuela, man. See what I'm saying? So showing you that it's worthless. You're not going to be able to transfer it into the new currency. You're not going to say, well, I got $2 million in the bank. Let me actually convert this to the new form of currency. No, because it's of no value. How are you going to take something of no value and purchase something of value? You know, you're not going to be able to convert it. That's why these people are going to lose their mind. They're going to go crazy, man. You know, it says, and in reality, it's not your money anyways. It says, we couldn't be more excited about the forthcoming FedNow launch, which will enable every participating financial institution, the smallest to the largest and from all corners of the country, to offer a modern instant payment solution. Yeah, so this is why there's no painless way to beat inflation. All right. Something else, another plague is getting ready to hit. All right. They're talking about man, I forgot the name. I think the elder brother mentioned it in his lesson here where I got this video from. I think he mentioned that plague in this video. Something FLU. I can't think right now, Salakia, but this is what they're getting ready to do, man. That's why, again, again, I'm quoted one more time. There's no painless way to be inflation. He's talking about it's a foreshadow of what's to come. Pain. All right, pain is to come, and the Lord is not going to let up, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is not going to let up. This is Revelations chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And that's what we're getting ready to walk into, this great furnace of affliction. All right, the heat is about to, we already in it. The heat is about to get ready to be turned up, is a better way to say it. And it's going to try every man, his endurance. It's going to try the quality of each man, this fire that the Lord is about to bring. It's going to try the quality of you, man. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. See? Quality lasts versus quantity. You know what I'm saying? Quality is everything. Because if the gold can't withstand the fire, then it is not gold. Gold is made to withstand the fire. All right. And the more you dip gold, the more purified it comes, the more impurities it get out, and the more shinier it becomes. You know, certain elements can't be dipped in fire, it would be consumed. So the Lord is getting ready to try every man, all right, according to his measure, man. Okay. And that's why, again, there's no painless way to beat inflation. The plague that's about to hit the earth, it's about to be detrimental, man. It's about to be a lot of death. It's about to be a lot of people taking their own selves out. All right, got to be cautious with my words, and it's about to be a lot of friend on friend fighting each other like enemies. All right, friends fighting each other like enemies. All right, parents acting like they visiting your house and their plan is to chop you up and eat you. You know, a lot of how you think what Scripture talk about cannibalism, and it's coming back. It's here, man. Why you think the people are going to be so found to it? Because the people has already been doing it. What you think McDonald's and all these different companies is? That's not real meat. Those are that's body meat. All right, being cautious with my words. I mentioned in one of the last videos about how when dead people they would grind the body up, liquefy, put it into the water, and also the bones they would turn to powder. All right, and they would put it in these different these different what do they call it, man? These different like protein things, like protein powder, and they would sprinkle it in there. All right, and like these vitamins, you know. Yeah, man. So yeah, this place is bro. This place is it's an awful place, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a terrible place. So, hey, Lord willing, this is edifying. I just wanted to bring that out. You know what I'm saying? That's really what the main point. And was this guy here, Jerome Powell, talking about it would not be painless. It would not be painless. We're about to go through a great trial. We're about to go through great pain. All right. The Lord is about to bring great pain into the habits of the earth. Let me see if I could grab that real. Let me see something real quick. Bear with me. This is let me see. Because you remember scripture talking about the devil coming down with great wrath. All right. You know, because he know if you have a short time. This is damn, what am I thinking about? Slack it, bear with me. I'm trying to think of this precept. I'm gonna close with that precept, man. I don't know why it slipped my mind. Damn, man. I hate when that happens. That's another reason why we gotta get the hell out of this place. You just have a thought, and now you're trying to think of it. It's like you never even had the damn thought, man. What was it? I know it was an apocrypha. Let's see, man, I guess that's it. I can't watch me think of it. As soon as I end this live, it's gonna pop in my mind. But But anyways, the Lord is going to bring. He about to get ready to bring great pain into the people, man. Because fire, when you put your hand in your fire and you hold it there for a long time, eventually it starts to hurt. It burns you. It aches. It pains. It's a great pain. Even when you take your hand out, you still feel the effects of it as if it's still in it. All right, it's still in it. You know what I'm saying? So there you go, man. So Lord willing is edifying. Again, I would like to give all honor, glory, infinite praise, and worship to YAHWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Again, double honor to our apostle, the great millstone, we will teach you in sound doctrine. Strong shalom to the hopeful elect, and the rest of the large multitude of men, women, and children, that the Lord will have mercy on these last days. Again, walk over ball, by ball, shalom. Hey, just endure, keep the faith. You know what I'm saying? Keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because the devil about to come down with great wrath, and it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful. All right, just remember the scriptures, remember the faith, keep your faith. All right, remember the things Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has done. All right, and keep meditating in the scripture so that could be your defense against the carnal things that's going to heighten in the near future. So with that, shalom.